First question is, how long have you been streaming?
April 1st, 2018 was my first day streaming. And that's not April Fool's joke.
It's weird. That is actually cool though, but it's kind of weird because every streamer that I've talked to in the last 2 weeks have been streaming for exactly 2 years almost, or
Yeah,
like right
yeah.
around 2 years. We all started at the same time apparently. But okay, so well, out of that 2 years that you've spent streaming, how long, or not how long? What's your actual favorite thing that you have about streaming so far?
Just the interaction with the folks, the people that come into the stream. I've met a lot of great people through Twitch, which
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have never had the opportunity to meet,
Yeah.
especially the ones that are across the pond or, um, other parts of the country that I would never venture to.
Yeah.
But I've met a lot of great people through Twitch, and that's the favorite thing I have for Twitch. It is super amazing how you can find somebody across the country or across the world that you really, really get along with and mesh well with, and you would never had that opportunity without Twitch. So that's what I love about Twitch.
Oh, I can totally agree with you. That, believe it or not, that seems to be most of the streamers who stick around that I've talked to so far. That seems to be their favorite thing about it. I totally agree with you. It's you make some really good friendships on Twitch, and we've been talking about that a lot lately, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we know your favorite thing now. So, what's the least favorite thing that you have about it?
Boo. I don't know. I love streaming so much. I don't know if I have a least favorite thing about it.
Well, there's got to be
Um,
something that you don't necessarily like, whether it be like the monotony of playing a single game for so long or whatever. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think the worst part about it is a lot of people, a lot of streamers make it a job,
mm-hmm.
and there's still a competitiveness out there.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with our community,
Mm-hmm.
but with other communities that I've seen out there, there's a lot of competitiveness going on.
Yeah.
And personally, I'm a big advocate of growing as a group,
Oh, I totally
um,
agree.
getting along with everybody and sharing the love. That's my biggest
Right.
thing, you know.
Well, I think there is a
So
way to do it as a job and still not feel competitive about it. And because, like, I don't know if you know, but I am an actual full time streamer. That's what I do for a living. But I don't make
okay,
it competitive. Like, I
right,
think
right,
that's the key. My community takes care of me. I don't need a ton of money or anything, so I don't really make much. But that's just what I do for any money that I do make. So I think that's the key, though. I'm not trying to do it to support a bunch of people.
right,
Yeah, I
right.
get it. But yeah, I
Yeah,
do
that's
think that's
that's
a bad
probably the
thing.
worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really do think that's a bad thing. Like, if you're not ready for it, then don't do it. Okay, so yeah, I can agree with you on that being one of the bad things about streaming. So what actually made you decide, hey, I think I'm gonna be a streamer?
Well, I started out. I used to be a big WoW player. Played WoW from right at the end of vanilla into Burning Crusade.
Okay.
So I was really hung up in WoW for
Mm-hmm.
a lot of years. Played that with a bunch of people in a guild. We were guild first, things of that nature. I wish I would have started streaming then, but unfortunately, I did not. Was not aware of streaming at that time. But then WoW got the RNGesus of WoW
Mm-hmm.
uh, got really painful. So I was like, I want to find another game. So I ventured over to Final Fantasy online, the new 14, I think it is. And I was like, this is the same shit. I don't want to continue this grind. So I was like, I'm looking for another game. And a buddy at work got me into 7 Days to Die. So I started watching 7 Days to Die YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
And then went on to Twitch from a guy at work said, hey, you should check out some guys on Twitch and just ask them live, about questions and things. So I started watching people on Twitch, streamers on Twitch, and I was like, man, this is cool. I can meet people. I can start playing, 7 Days to Die with folks. Um, played it on a couple of servers that these streamers had. Not they started, they were like, "Oh, it's a sub server only." Blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't want to pay you to play on your server. I just want to play. I just want to have
Mm-hmm.
friends to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, screw it. I'll just be a streamer, and then people will come and play. So
Yeah, I
started
totally agree.
streaming.
Like sub servers, I get that they want to do something special for subs. I totally get that. And if that's what you got to do special for your subs, then absolutely go buy it. But yeah, I get that you need something special for subs. But I mean, I've never felt right charging people to play on a server. Even
Yeah,
though we pay for them, I don't really see the point in charging.
yeah, I get the point of getting trying to exclude trolls and things of that nature. So what I do is not only the subs, but like people that are VIPs that I trust that have been
Mm-hmm.
in my community for a long time.
Yeah.
They may not be subbed, but they are VIPs. They're people that I trust. And then of course the subs as well. I think it's only right to allow them to play.
Yeah.
So I I open it up to those three categories. So it'd be my mods, VIPs, and the subs that play on my server. So
Yeah. I totally feel you on that. Actually, yeah, and like you were saying, I think your community, especially your long-standing community, they'll tend to actually police everything a little bit better than you could do. Like if they're all there, if anything does happen, they'll take care of it.
right, right, yeah. Especially your mods too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's why.
Yeah. Just make sure your mods have some admin privileges. You should be okay.
Oh yeah, on the server, yeah, absolutely.
All right. So so far, what's been like the biggest moment of your streaming career?
Biggest moment of my streaming career. Hmm. I would say that. Well, I don't know if it's biggest or um worst, but Twitch Sings was
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I heard about
yeah,
that. That was the other night.
that was a show that I don't know if anybody ever wants to see that again, but
Well, yeah, your VOD will be up when this video goes live, as long as you haven't deleted it. So I'm gonna be going and watching it later. Actually, my
I'm gonna
mom
go
told me
delete
about
it.
it. Nah, dude, leave it up because stuff like that's actually really good for you. I thought no one wanted to see me on Twitch sings. I was wrong.
Oh man, that was awful.
It was
That was awful.
fun. Well, it was fun though, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Then
absolutely.
that's what
It was a
matters.
good
That's all
time.
that matters. That's the thing about Twitch sings too. A lot of people. I've been really big into getting to know the sings community. They don't care what you sound like. They're extremely supportive. They're type of people. They're our type of people actually. Like you go in there and they support you no matter what because you're just going in and having fun, and that's what the game's about. As long
Right.
as you're having fun, they're having. So
Yep.
that's always really good. Now, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. The better singers generally do have more people, but still, people just enjoy hanging out and getting to know people.
Yeah, I think the community loved it, so that's all
Mm-hmm.
that matters.
Exactly. As long as your
Um,
community's happy with it, that's all that matters. Like if you think you sound like a dying dog, but they think it was fun,
it was
then
worse
keep
than that.
sounding like a dying dog.
It was worse than that, but hey,
Well, I'm definitely gonna go check it out now.
yeah, yeah,
um, actually, I
well,
might even add a clip to it at the end.
that'll work.
uh,
Like a virgin, touched for the very first time. Like a virgin, when a heartbeat next to mine. Give me
let's
your.
see. We've got so the next one is what are your overall ultimate goals as a streamer?
Well, as a streamer, I want to be remembered as the guy that helped many streamers get to and achieve their goals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I ever got partnered, that's what I would do with my partnership is help leverage the partnership,
Mm-hmm.
and help other streamers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Smaller streamers, things of that nature. I like I said before, I'm a big advocate of that. I think I don't look at other streamers as competition. I look at them as coworkers,
Well,
or
I
co
can
streamers.
say from the interactions that I've had with you, you absolutely mean that 100%. And
Yeah.
that's why I think that's why I like you so much. because I know everything that you told me is the truth. I
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
that you will find out about me. I'm very blunt and honest.
Good.
Sometimes that gets me in trouble, but
Well, I'd rather somebody be blunt and honest than not say something and make it become an issue.
right. Yeah.
I've seen that happen too often, especially on Twitch.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean,
uh,
it's just like any part of the other parts of the world and other things that people do.
mm-hmm.
It's people hide things, and
Yeah,
I don't see the point in it.
there's not. I mean, if you hide things, it becomes an issue. If you go in and get it out in the air, 99.9% of the time, it can completely be avoided.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so well, if since this actually leads in perfectly, since you want to help people, what would be the number one piece of advice you would give to someone just starting to stream?
Number one piece of advice just starting streaming is don't worry about the numbers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the other thing, the other biggest piece of advice is you're not going to make a ton of money. You're not going to be the next, you know, Doctor Disrespect or anything like that right out the gate. Those guys worked very, very hard to get where they're at, and they didn't do
Mm-hmm.
it overnight. So,
Yeah, well, take for
um,
example Ninja. It took him over 8 years of streaming to no one before Fortnite.
right,
I mean,
exactly,
I think he maybe streamed for like 200 or 300 people when Fortnite came out.
right. So, just the biggest thing about streaming is have fun with it. Don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about the numbers. If you do start streaming, you see 3 or 4 people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to them. Talk to yourself is the
Yeah.
biggest thing to get more people involved. I've noticed personally is helping others and getting involved in other communities, which when I started streaming, the only community I knew was Average Army.
Mm-hmm.
And then ventured into other communities, which
You,
most
you,
of
you're more than you're more than okay to talk about the other communities around here, like as long as you're saying good things about them.
right. No, it's just that a lot of the streamers that I met through Average Army are part of other streaming
Mm-hmm.
communities, which is a big, branch out, right? Don't ever
Yeah.
hold yourself to one, because I personally think that limits you, and then also it doesn't give me the ability to help out other streamers either.
Right.
If I'm able to branch out and meet other people through other vehicles or other communities,
Mm-hmm.
then that'll give me more people I can help, with a view, with a follow, anything.
Yeah.
So that's
Actually, that brings up one point too. I've noticed like there's like you said, there's a lot of people from the average army and other communities that you're in. One thing I think helps out actually for the communities and the streamer individually is that they branch out to other communities that aren't tied to the community that they're because
right.
that basically brings new people in for everyone.
Right.
So
Yep.
that would be one piece of advice I would add to that. If you do join more than one community, try to join separate
Different.
communities that aren't really tied in together.
Right.
But
Yeah. And
don't join too
you know,
many.
yeah, don't overextend yourself. Again, don't make it a job unless you're trying to make it a job. And at first, probably not a good idea to make it a job.
Well, if you're gonna make it a job, my advice for that, and we were actually talking with Gatsby about this. It just released tomorrow, actually. Um, when we were talking, she said she's actually doing it full time too. But if you're gonna do it as a job, you have to expect to take a huge financial loss to
Yeah.
start. I
Yep.
mean, maybe you get to where you want to be within a certain amount of time. But if you can take that loss and do it, then yeah, absolutely do it as a job.
Yeah. If you can afford it, feel free. But like I said, the biggest piece of advice: you're not going to be millionaire overnight.
Mm-mm.
You're not going to make the money you can make at a normal, 9 to 5 job,
Yeah,
um, right out the gate. Now,
yeah.
not saying that you can't, but
Oh, it's possible, but
out
it
the
takes
gate,
a lot of work.
right?
Well,
Yeah, it
you've got
takes
to
a
get
lot of work,
lucky
a lot
on
of
that
time.
too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of luck in streaming.
Well, there is and there isn't. Like the one thing that I'm going to be concentrating on helping a lot of people with are things like growth outside of Twitch, like YouTube and things like that. They're really solid platforms for growth outside of Twitch, but that's something we don't utilize enough. And
Yeah,
it's not so much luck then because you're actually being discovered using uh, uh, algorithms and things like that, so people can
right,
find what they're looking for. But
right.
Twitch is getting a little bit better about that too. So
The other thing I would say about streaming is be consistent. Um,
mhm.
have a schedule.
Yeah.
Schedule helped me a lot. When I started streaming, I didn't have a schedule. I was like, "Ah, I'll just stream whenever I want." Right?
Hmm. Yeah, and
Uh,
I've noticed about the schedule too. Like I'm pretty slack on my schedule, but as long as you have something that you try to adhere to, that's really what
yeah. So
matters.
kind of think of yourself as a TV show, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
you have a set date and time that you're going to be on. People are going to be there to see you, to watch you. A lot of people watch Twitch over, television.
Hmm.
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
So I don't watch TV.
Well,
So
that
people are like, "Hey,
explains the
did you
pay
see that
structure.
movie?" And I'm like, "Nope."
Yeah, it's like people all the time asking me, it's like, why would people want to pay to watch people? It's like, well, you got to think every hour that they spend in Twitch, they're not watching TV. They're not going out to the movies. So they're not really having to pay for their cable. They're not having to pay for like the movies and all this other entertainment. So they're just using that money elsewhere.
Right.
So like that's actually one of the beautiful parts about Twitch. Most of the people who watch Twitch spend most of their free time watching Twitch.
Yeah. Absolutely. I do.
Yeah, I do too. Too much time actually. Okay, so well, what's your favorite game to actually stream so?
7 Days to Die is my primary game that I stream.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I stream other games. Satisfactory is one of them. Um,
Great game.
Sometimes I get into Apex, which I'm terrible at, but I still like it.
As
It's
long
a
as you're
fun
having
game.
fun.
Yeah, it's a fun game. But I'm into now. I'm into the survival games. I
Mm-hmm.
was into the role playing game or the MMORPG games like
Welcome
WoW.
to the new addiction, by the way.
Right. So, um, but now it's survival games that I'm into at this time.
Nice. Have you tried Green Hell yet? Somebody was telling me about that the other day.
I have not. I have not. I watched it. I watched it on many streamers channels, but I have not purchased the game yet.
Oh, I actually haven't. I just haven't played it yet. Apparently, it's a really, really, really good.
Yeah, I'm into the more of the multiplayer or co-op. I
Mm-hmm.
like playing games with other people. I'm honestly don't like playing solo games. So
Yeah.
when I'm not on, I play a little bit offline on some stuff, but most of the time I'm just watching Twitch.
Yeah. I think solo games get a little grindy.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I can agree with you. I've been playing a lot with the people on server lately, and it's a lot more fun. The main reason I don't really play for I like playing multiplayer stuff offline where I'm not streaming it, but it just I don't know, it gets a little hectic on Discord if you're trying to chat with everybody.
yeah,
So that's one thing you got to pay attention to when you're doing multiplayer, but you do a good job of it. So your guys know when to talk and when not to. I've
yeah. You got to
noticed.
find the right people, the right folks to play with, and things of that nature. So
Yeah.
unless there's people that want to play when I'm not streaming, um, I don't play games usually.
Yeah. Well, like I said, feel free to hop on my server anytime you want because I know you said you've been playing a lot of 18 offline.
Yep, yep,
Yeah, we,
yep.
we got we're about to reset maybe in about a week or two. So if you want to hop in then, you can level up with us.
Cool.
Let's see. Okay, so what's your favorite off-stream game slash activity? You don't necessarily have to be PG here.
My off stream for when it comes to gaming or just in
Just in
general.
general, just to get to know the real Shugg behind the camera.
When I'm not streaming and when I'm not in the game mode, I'm a father of twin 8-year-old boys, so I do a lot of coaching with them as far as like sports.
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep them active so they don't get in trouble. Uh, um, I'm a very kind of, I guess you could say, strict dad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I try to keep them out of trouble as much as I can, and I think sports is a great avenue for them. I was you know, an athlete in high school, um, and a little bit after high school, but and it kept me out of trouble. I was a hothead, being a redhead.
Mm-hmm.
I had a temper, so and with me being blunt and honest, it got me in a lot of trouble.
Oh, I bet it did.
So with the temper and and being honest and blunt, a lot of people didn't like that. But you know, but sports kept me out of trouble, out of jail.
Yeah.
Um, Kept me out of a lot of legal issues. If I weren't in sports, I think I would have been in a lot more trouble. So I do a lot of sports activities with them. I coach their little league soccer, baseball, basketball. They want to get into football, and apparently football's taking a big hit. But yeah, we've done flag football. That's it. But I'm into being with my kids and my family off stream usually.
Gotcha. Yeah, I totally felt that about you. It's like the one thing I have gathered from hanging out with you as much as I have is you're a real family man. And I think
Yes.
that's amazing. Because
Yep.
every time I hear it's like, yeah, me and my sons did this. I remember one day you were just talking about one of your favorite things to do was to go fishing with them. And like that's absolutely great for you. It's great for
Yeah.
them too, especially
Yeah. They
these
love it.
days. Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that you can do that these days because most
Yeah,
people
that's true.
they don't really have the time to do it. Okay, so what did you always want to be when you
I started out when I was in high school. I wanted to be, you know, football player, like every other boy does want to be, right?
Mhm.
And then I got into um, cars. So I was a mechanic
Mhm.
right out of high school. I went straight into work. I didn't go to college or anything like that, and I went straight to working on cars.
Okay.
Um, and My best friend and I got a job together. Our first jobs were at a Ford dealership here locally, and we started working there. And he's still working there, or still working in that field. And I was like, after about 7 years into it, I was like, no, I'm done. I'm out of here. Forget
Mhm.
this. I'm not doing this the rest of my life. So I went back to school, started learning computers, and got into technical support, help desk, things of that nature. And now I'm into security. So
Nice.
um, I have a big interest in security and how things operate, and a lot of
Mhm.
that's probably because I'm nosy. But
You do like cybersecurity, don't you? Of a sort?
yes,
Yeah,
yep,
nice.
yep,
That's awesome actually. Uh yeah, I get you on the whole mechanic thing. I've basically I did that a little bit. I used to work at Walmart and Loot Express, and it's a stressful thing, honestly, because like going into work every day not knowing if any of the cars are going to come back and get you in trouble, even though you had nothing to do with what was wrong with them.
right.
Like I can definitely see how you wouldn't want to do that for a living.
Well, it ruined the enjoyment of working on cars for
Mm-hmm.
me. You know,
Yeah.
once you make it a job, and I think that goes with anything. Once you make it a job, you lose interest in it, or you're like, oh man, I don't want to work. Work on it. There's
Yeah.
people. I
Well,
don't want to work on my own car, so they drive clunkers.
I don't. I think the key to making something that you love to do your job is to never think of it as a. If
That's
you
true.
wake up every day, you're like that. I've heard if you love what you do, then you never work a day in your life. That's kind of true. I can prove that. Like it's my job to stream, but I don't think of it as a job. I think of it as something that I want to do, and
Right.
it makes me wake up every day. It's like, hey, I can't wait to stream. So,
Right.
but yeah, it's all in the way you approach.
Right. Right.
Just never try to think of it as a job. And that I guess that's the thing that we kept saying before. It's like once you start thinking of it as a job, that's where you screw up.
Yeah, and you get the stress hits you, and then you don't enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
You either end up stop streaming, or you know, if you
Yeah.
do it for fun, I think you'll stream a lot longer. Like I personally, I did it for fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
I still do it for fun. I don't do it for a living. There's no way I can make the money I make now on my
Yeah.
9 to 5 job as I would as a
Yeah.
streamer.
Well, I
Um,
mean, I think if you
so
keep up the way you're doing and you keep up your mentality for it, one day I think maybe that's going to be possible.
yeah, it could be,
As long as you
and
keep
that'd
up the
be
same
awesome.
mentality of doing it for fun.
I would love to hang out with people all day that
Mm-hmm.
you know want to show some love and be there.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. That honestly that's the most fun thing for me about streaming is just like the different friendships you make is it's really about friendship, and as long as
yep,
you keep that in mind it'll always
absolutely. Yep, yep.
All right. So, is there anything that you want to ask the comment section of YouTube or any other streamer, or just maybe like a question you have for the board or anything like that?
Um, Not up the top of my head. Just that if there's, yeah, and this can go to the comment section or whatnot, or even to the board. If there's things that you see on a channel, and for instance, my channel that you like or want to see more of, telling a streamer that is a big deal. It
Mm-hmm.
does help out a streamer a lot more than most people think. Um, but ideas, things of that nature to help a streamer out,
Mm-hmm.
um, present more content or better content. I think that would help out a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the things I love the most is when people tell me, "I think that's boring."
Right.
Like the fact that they cared enough to say something, like that tells me, okay, well, they don't like this, so maybe we'll just try to keep it out. Or what gets me is when I put a lot of work into something and I get no feedback on it, and people like it, but they don't tell me they like it, so I don't know that they like it. I have to sit there and guess. I totally feel you.
Right. Right. So yeah, the only thing I would ask is, not, and it can go to the board of Average Army, it can go to, viewers or anybody. If they see something they would like to see more of, or they don't like, or anything like that, tell me. Because constructive criticism I take very, very well. And I want to work to get better, to present more content out there, and to bring more friends in. So
Absolutely. Well, I've been spending a lot more time in your channel lately, and I'm going to be spending a lot more in your channel. So if there's anything that I do or don't like, I'll let you know, and I'll keep it private. That way, other people don't see it, unless you want me
awesome.
to say it out in the open, because that might actually spawn some conversation. It's up to you.
Yeah, either way, if you think it's, like I said,
Yeah.
I'm a very blunt person, so I don't mind,
Oh yeah.
bluntness back. I
Yeah.
can take
Yeah.
it. So
Well, I mean, I would never say, "Oh, well, that sucks. Never do it again." It'd be like, "Well, I don't personally like this, but here's my reasoning behind it," and that's the way
right,
I'd be. Like, that's another
right,
thing people need to realize is how to give constructive criticism where it won't be taken badly.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't go into a streamer and say you suck or anything like that. Just say, hey, this is a great idea. Try this, or
Mm-hmm. Or I
and of
just
course,
saw this wonderful thing somewhere, and I think you might enjoy it.
right,
Stuff like that.
right,
Yeah. And another piece of advice I give, and I'll give you the same advice too. I think people have noticed some of the things in my stream are a little off the wall, not exactly what you normally see. If you see something you like on someone's stream, feel free to take it as long as you make it your own.
right,
So always put your own little twist on it, and no one's ever going to get upset about you for it too.
right. Yeah,
Like if there's ever anything that you see on any of my stuff, let me know. That if you like it and want to learn how to do it, just let me know. I'll definitely help you out.
absolutely.
But yeah, I think that's all the questions. We actually did pretty good. We got about right at 30 minutes worth of material.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, is there any parting comments you want to make for everyone, or?
Well, no, thank you for taking the time and watching this. I do appreciate it. I know nobody does a lot of work in doing these as well, and he appreciates it. So keep looking out for more. There's going to be more coming. But and just thank you for being here. Thank you for watching Twitch. Thank you for watching Average Army members. I do appreciate it.
And I'd like to say thank you, Shugg, for being awesome and giving me good content to watch on Twitch.
No, thank you, nobody, for taking the time to doing all this. I
All
do
right.
appreciate that.
Well, I guess I will see you later. Yeah, like I said, hit me up about the server anytime you want to. We're about to do a full reset. We're all super high level at the moment, so if you want to come in and just do a cheesy horde night with us or whatever, level up. I'm actually using something from your base that I saw and expanding on it. The hallway that
Cool.
you've got with the blade trap.
Right, right.
Yeah, I've got some stuff figured out on how to deal with the demolishers and stuff with it. In fact, if you want to use it, go for it.
Nice. All right. Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'll show all of it to you later.
Awesome.
But have fun, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.